Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point. C.S. Lewis. This one hit me hard, y'all. Love, truth, you know, of course, truth, honesty, um, you know, just stepping out, starting your own business, approaching someone that is of interest to you, right? Anything that is requiring you to be virtuous, right? It requires a lot of courage. It requires stepping out, on faith. It requires courage. So like any virtue, requires courage at the beginning point, or at that, like it said in the quote, at that testing point, right? And Nelson Mandela, I have my notes right here. I'm going to make sure I quote everybody correctly here. Um, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So this is me kind of stepping out and triumphing over my fears of just being seen, being out in the open and talking about these things because, you know, even though I had my channel on Facebook and I was doing that, it was a very comfortable place for me because I was doing it in front of people that already knew me. I knew a lot of these people from school, from working with them, family members, things of that sort. So I had like a control group, right? So when you go to YouTube, it's much more wide open. But I say all of this to say, I didn't make this channel just for myself or to try to make myself look good or sound great. I know I'm going to slip over my words. I might have some ums and ahs. I might lose my train of thought and have to like look at my notes and things of that sort. But I understand too that I'm not going to get good without actually getting in front of the camera, kind of releasing the fears and releasing the doubts. You know what I mean? I think about even my career as a forklift driver turned training coordinator, and how I was able to, get to a place where I was able to teach people how to drive the lifts, and then I learned, a variety of different other powered equipments where I was able to train those people as well. But it didn't just happen overnight. You know what I mean? I had a couple of incidents, hit a couple of things. Thank God I didn't get hurt. Thank God nobody else got hurt as well. The equipment did though. And so did the rails that I ran into. But, when you go through these different, trials and errors, if you're able to kind of champion through them, then, you actually get like an infinity stone of sorts, you know what I'm saying, that you can take with you onto your next journey if you allow yourself to not take yourself too seriously and think to yourself like, oh well, yeah, I made a mistake, but if I get back on that horse, I can, maybe learn from that mistake and then grow from that mistake, right? And I have another quote here. I actually didn't have another quote, but it was good. Here, and it says, I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. That's by Nelson Mandela. And I actually used a picture of myself from when I was 7 in his program, because he was very inspirational for me at a young age. I was blessed to be in like an enrichment program when I was in the 2nd grade, where it was sponsored by his program, by his foundation or what have you. So very, very proud to say that. Might kind of show my age too, but we won't say what year that was or anything like that. So we'll leave that where it is. Um, and then also have another quote that says, if you want to conquer fear, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. That's Dale Carnegie. Once again, like I said, this is not just for me, this is for someone else. Hopefully this encourages you to take that leap of faith. It doesn't matter how ready you are, or if you feel like you are or not. I've understood that along my journey, you know what I mean? Like, there's been times where I've spoke in front of hundreds of people, and I was able to, deliver information that was very helpful to, a ton of people. But some of the most influential times, some of the biggest impacts that I've had was when I was training someone one on one, or even not even training, just talking to somebody during my lunch, or talking to someone in the street. You know what I'm saying? You never know how much of an impact you'll have once you start getting out there and doing the thing that you have a dream or a passion about. Um, if you want to start your own business, if you want to help people, if you want to do hair, if you want to, whatever it is that you decide that is like that dream of yours. Maybe you were afraid that people wouldn't like your styles, or that people, maybe you're not good talking in front of a camera, or talking in front of groups, or maybe, like you're afraid that like your friends will judge you, or that you'll lose certain people, whatever the case may be. Don't let fear constrict you and stop you from trying to do what you decide that is best for you to get into. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to leave you with this quote here, which is, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. And that's by Johann Wolfgang von Golf. And I probably butchered his name, but it's German, so you could look up the pronunciation. I actually did before the video, but I kind of forgot it already. But again, this is not to be so clean and to be perfect and things like that. This is to show you that you don't have to be fearless to step out in faith. You don't have to be fearless to show courage. You don't have to uh, wait until you have everything all figured out to get started on something. You can do something, and then just understand that as long as you stay the course, like my goal here now, and my phone ran out of storage there, but as I was saying, my goal is to keep going until I get better and better and better, and not, again, not for myself, not to make more money, even though it would be great if I do make money from this. Um, the reason why I want to keep going is because I feel like it's part of my calling. I feel like this is where my heart is. This is something that I want to do to help other people and inspire other people, not just by making the content, because as y'all will see if y'all go with me on this journey, not just gonna just have myself up here doing all these talk pieces. Some of it's gonna be more action. I'm gonna be in the field. I'm gonna be doing different things with this that maybe hasn't been done, or at least I haven't seen done yet on the YouTube platform, when it comes to combining it all together and putting it all together. Because my heart is for the people. I really want to see people grow. I want to see people become the best version of themselves. And in order to do that, I need to become the best version of myself. I need to be the example. I need to give myself my own medicine, in essence. You know what I'm saying? That I'm trying to give you guys. So instead of waiting until I get there and then just boom, popping out, I'm popping out while I'm on my own path, while I'm on my own journey. And I'm saying to you guys, like, hey, look, let's go up here together. You know, if it's something that you desire to do, I'm looking to actually interview some people and have people on this channel, uh, because that's the whole premise. We shine, we grow. Not I shine, we grow. I mean, that helps, right? But it's about us going together on this journey, on this path, and making this a thing where, iron sharpens iron. As I go up, you're going up too. You might be doing something completely different than me. You might be in a whole different field than me. You might have a whole different audience than I have, right? But you're going out and you're making something happen on your own accord. I'm going out and making something happen on my own accord. And, each one teach one. When they see you shining and doing what you're supposed to be doing in this life, that we've all been blessed to have with breath in our bodies and all of these different, amenities, and how, if you even just think back 30 years ago, 50 years ago, some of the technologies and the medicine, and the hospitals and different things that can heal our bodies, and different medicinal things that we've learned about. Not saying that we didn't have this knowledge in the past, but that we're resurfacing, now, and able to use for our betterment, right? I'm trying to share all of this type of stuff with you. So this isn't just like mental, emotional uh, encouragement, but whether it be a new exercise, something that you could eat, something that you could drink, different sleeping habits, different habits in general that maybe you want to look at and say, do I want to continue to do this? Do I want this to be part of my life? These are the type of things that I want to kind of address whole as a whole, but also highlight other people that are courageous in their own field and in their own space and in their own thing, and how they're uh, inspiring people, or how they are changing the world by just being who they are, sharing their knowledge, sharing their expertise. And it doesn't even have to, again, be an expertise right now. You can develop the expertise as you go. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Doesn't matter where you are today, doesn't matter what you've accomplished up until this point in your life. That's not what it's about. It's talking about, you know, once you decide that there's something that you want to do, and it's going to better your life, it's going to better other people's lives, go for it. Don't wait. Don't worry about what other people are going to think about you. Don't worry about how much experience you have in it. you know like, now is the time, no better time than now, to get started, because each time I get in front of this camera, I'm going to get more and more confident in myself. I know, because that's been true for me and so many other things. Like when I first started driving, I wasn't that confident. But now I feel like I'm, NASCAR ready. Like I could go out there and compete, at the highest level in driving. But that's also because I've driven so many different things. I've worked for Amazon delivering packages before. I've driven those big box trucks, and forklifts, and the EPJs, and the tuggers, and reach trucks, and all of these different things, scissor lift, boom lift, you name it, I've done it. So it's like I kind of get confident about that. Same thing with basketball. Like, I'm not, Steph Curry, but you might mistake me for him on the court, though, because the jumper is kind of pure. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's the point. Like, once you keep going at something, you're gonna get better and better and better. So just find that thing for yourself, even if you have it already. If you need to dust it off, if you need to start back over, if you need to, re-encourage yourself, read a book that will pick you up, watch this channel, tune into somebody else that encourages you. But do what you have to do. Take the step. Don't be afraid. We shine, we grow.